Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And ooh, this hair, it's all over the place. But anyways, it's Deb C and the place to be. It's Deb C. Bloop, 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 boom. That's me, Deb C. Hey everybody, this is all over the place. First of all, before I start, how about this? Look at this. This is from one of my good Judies, one of my best Judies, from Emily, from Emily's Life on Wheels. If y'all don't know, I am an absolute super fan of The Office. So I'm an Uber fan. So Emily, thank you. I love it. It's just a little happy mail. So listen, I'm going to break this down into two parts. This is going to be all over the place, but we are going to talk about the Bachelorettes. I'm not going to cover everything in depth like I typically would because I'm on my 15-minute break at lunch and time is ticking. So I'm going to break this down into two parts. We had two nights, Monday and Tuesday. So here's what happened. This week they were in Mexico for their fantasy suites. Rachel and Gabby all had three guys. Started off talking about their three guys. Rachel with Zach, she says she doesn't think she's there with Zach. She thinks she's falling in love with Avon, and she's in love with Tino, but his parents hate her guts, even though he's like, no, they adore you. And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure they want to stab me. So that's where Rachel's at. With Gabby, as far as Jason, she's falling for him, but she's not sure how he feels. Girl. She feels like she's in two different places. She feels like they're in two different places in their lives, and she feels like she could be engaged to him, but she's not sure about him. That's with Johnny. And with Eric, things are good. Things are going really good. They both tell each other that they love each other and everything's fantastic, but she says that could change in 2 weeks. Anything could change. Oh, don't look at this. Look at this. And that could change in 2 weeks. So let's see. We start off with Eric and Gabby. That's the first date. So they go up, they walk up a cliff, they go to Lover's Leap, they take their clothes off to their bathing suits and they jump off Lover's Leap. I thought this was really sweet because she was real scared to jump off the highest one. And he was very, very like supportive. And he's in love with her. And you can just tell that he's in love with her. Now, she hasn't told him yet. At this point, she hasn't told him yet. She's saving it up to say it just to one person. Like, she's like, listen, I'm not going to say it right now. I'm just going to say it to one person, but maybe. So then we go to Rachel's first date. That's with Avon. Now, she hasn't said, I love you yet. This date was a little boring. I kind of got up and walked away and did other things. It was a little boring, but he did say that his parents absolutely love her. Meanwhile, they cut to Jesse talking with Tino. I loved Tino from the beginning. He's red flags. He's talking about how my parents really do hate her, and I'm gonna bitch about how she's sleeping with other people in the fantasy suite. Listen, I'm not saying it's great that you're sleeping around, but this is what these people do on The Bachelor. You come on to The Bachelor, Bachelorette, you go to fantasy suites, there's intimacy. Listen, and there's also expected to be a engagement at the end of all of this. So, they're talking about all of that. Okay. So then they go back to Rachel and Avon. They were just talking about, like, I don't like that she's going to get intimate. Let's go to Rachel and Avon, second face on a boat with booty. So she did stop herself from saying, I love you, because of just how things worked out with Clayton last year. But she did say she's falling for him. So once again, he's just laying around in bed. Tino's laying around in bed with his shirt off, thinking about how, you know, how great things are going to be, even though she's going to be sleeping with other guys. Things are going to be great. So then we go to Rachel's date with Tino. They go horseback riding. Then they hiked up a little cliff. They sat on an oddly perched blanket and on a stone perch. And then they went for a swim. She's real nervous because of the parents. And she's saying that his dad said to her, listen, if you guys get engaged, I'm not going to disown him, but shit's not going to be great. I'm not going to accept it. And can he move on from this? And he says, yes, my father doesn't hate you. He just hates this situation that we're in. But listen, if I propose to you, then that's it. He's going to have to accept it. And then he says, I love you. And of course, she forgets all about the parents who want to stab her in the back and choke her. And she's like, oh my God, I love you too. Ah! Like all of that faded away. Okay. So then we go out to Gabby's date with Johnny. Listen, I didn't pay that much attention to this date either, because I really, from the get-go, never saw her with Johnny. I didn't think there was any chemistry and at all. Like, I feel like the two of them are like not meant for real for the rest of their lives. I feel like Johnny's that guy that you meet at the end of like, you know, like a Whitesnake concert, or at the end of like, you know, a Toby Keith country concert after you just got plastered. And then you're like, oh my God, you know, you're white clawing it up. That's what I think. I think you met him after you know, like after the Guns N' Roses show, you white clawed it up. And now, holy shit, I'm with Johnny. So he said he can't see himself proposing. And once again, remember, this is the guy who was like, you're the dopest girl I've ever hung out with. Real marriage material. So she was like, listen, I can't deal with this. You got to go. So he was gone. So while all of that is going on, Jason then talks to Jesse. Oh, now listen, Gabby is talking about how Johnny is not ready. And I love that I'm going to see Jason, and Jason is ready, and Jason is ready to commit. Jason is talking with Jesse about he's not in love with her yet. There are feelings, but I'm not sure within the next, you know, couple weeks I'm going to be able to propose. Now, could he get there? And he was like, maybe. I don't know. Psh, if I know. Meanwhile, Gabby's like, holy shit, this is the man of my dreams, Jason. Okay. So there's a note. Then we fast forward to Gabby answers the door. There's a note. Who's it from? I'm like, shit, it's Jason. It's not. It's Eric. So he shows up. He wanted to tell her it's like hard on him knowing that she's going to be with other men. She flips out because they had this discussion during their fantasy suite time, this private discussion that was like, listen, you have to, you know, you got to trust in this. And I guess it was brought up where he had said he feels like if she's intimate with somebody else, then it's cheating. I get this. Like, I totally get that. But in the framework of this show, I mean, that's really what happens. And she was just like, why can't you just trust what we have? And she feels like he's really trying to control like her journey. Like, I myself wouldn't go out sleeping with a bunch of guys, but it's what she's doing to see if there's like this intimacy between her and these guys. She's real mad. So she leaves, and then she comes back and she forgives him, kind of. And he just says he's really insecure. I'm so sorry I effed this up. And she says everything's okay. But then she speaks with Jesse and she's like, I lost sleep over this. So she's really not. And she said she struggles with like miscommunication with him, and she feels they're two different people. She's second guessing it with Eric. So that is where they leave it on night 1. That's it. So I'm going to be making yet another video that's going to be after this, where I break down this second night of this shit show. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you yet, but I will see you in the next video. I gotta get back to work. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Earn that dollar. Dollar to dollar bill, Joe. Ooh, ooh.